Even if it's not official, I'll go test it myself just so I can sleep at night.
Uh,
I get twitchy when I don't know if the concrete's good or not. And if I prove to myself that it's okay.
yeah, and that way when you're, like you said, when you're going through this process, it takes time. So you got to figure out, hey, do I have a big problem, or am I confident enough to keep stacking floors on top of, work that is being questioned? So there's a big risk there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, knowing how to do some of those non-destructive tests, like you were saying yourself, gives you that confidence that, hey, we don't have a problem. Let's keep going, and we'll go through the steps to prove what our in place concrete is, how it's performing. So, but we got a few minutes, Josh. I think what we could do is let's talk about some of the things that we like to or don't like to see. Don't like to see as far as how cylinders are, one, the samples taken, and two, how they're handled. So what are since you've been on that side of the fence, what are some of the common offensives that we see out there that we can keep our eye out for?
Well, get your sample in the middle of the truck. The middle third is the best.
And
Make your,
why is that? Let's explain why that
yeah.
is. Why is that?
Well, if you've ever watched concrete come out of the chute, the very first thing that comes down is a whole bunch of rocks, right?
Uh,
That's not a very thorough mix. It's not representative of the whole batch. And then the tail end of it, once the whole truck is offloaded, the tail end is usually a bunch of water. So that's not a good representation either, right? I
right.
want a good mix, a good sample that's representative of that mix design. So let's get it out in the middle where we've had good steady flow, uh, and we get a good aggregate to paste, ratio to what it's designed to be.
And your guys that are on the chute or on the bucket, should be trained to know that, so they can say, "Hey, third party guy, wait
Yep,
before
absolutely.
you take." Yeah,
Yeah,
you don't have to get the first drips that come out of the truck. It's okay.
right.
You can wait a little
Just
bit.
hang out for a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What's another offense?
Just the care of the cylinders themselves, right? The initial, you've rotted the cylinders, you've consolidated them. Hopefully you put a lid on them. I've seen some guys that don't put lids on, and you want a lid on it to keep the moisture in. You don't want it all evaporating out because that's not representative either.